What are maps and globes?
A globe is a scale model of the Earth. Because a globe is a sphere, like the Earth, it is the best representation of things that appear on the Earth's surface. A globe shows accurate shapes, sizes, distances, and directions, all at the same time. Unfortunately, globes are difficult to carry around. Most of the countries are very small, and you cannot put a lot of detail on it. A map is a representation of all or part of the Earth's surface on a flat piece of paper. We use them because they present information about the Earth in a simple, graphic way. Unlike globes, they are easy to carry around and reproduce, and they can show a lot more detail than globes. One disadvantage that all maps have, especially maps that show the entire world, is that they cannot show things as accurately as a globe can. All maps have some degree of distortion. Some maps show the true area of the continents, but the shapes are not accurate. Others show the real shapes of the continents while distorting something else on the map. But why are things distorted on maps? Distortion occurs whenever you try to represent the curved surface of the Earth on a flat piece of paper. Cartographers or map makers have had this problem from the earliest beginnings of map making. Imagine drawing the continents on a round object, like a ball or an orange, and then, after making a cut down one side of the sphere, trying to lay that surface of the object flat. It won't lie flat. The curved surface will wrinkle or tear. Cartographers have avoided as much distortion as possible by creating different types of map projections. A map projection is a method by which the Earth's curved surface is represented on a flat surface map. Different types of projections are made to show different aspects of the Earth. There are three basic types of map projections. One is made by projecting the surface of the Earth on a plane or flat piece of paper. The paper touches a globe at only one point. Areas near that point show little distortion. A polar map is just such a map. The technical name for this is an azimuthal projection. Another type of projection is prepared by wrapping a cylinder of paper around the globe. Again, where the paper touches the globe, there is little distortion. The distortion mostly occurs towards the outer edges of the paper. Probably the best-known cylindrical projection is a Mercator map. The areas near the equator are very accurate, but the distortion at the poles is very evident. The sizes of Greenland and Antarctica are extremely exaggerated. This map was designed for navigation, and the true compass direction between any 2 points can be determined by a straight line. The third type of projection is called a conical projection. This type of map is made into a cone of paper. Where the base of the cone touches the globe, as with the other two types of projections, there is little distortion. These types of maps are often used to show areas in the middle latitudes. The lines shown on maps are latitude and longitude lines. Latitude lines show distances north and south of the equator. These lines travel in an east-west direction. Longitude lines are the lines that run vertically from the North Pole to the South Pole. They measure distances east and west of the prime meridian. Each line of latitude or longitude is given an identifying number. Each degree can also be divided into smaller amounts called minutes and seconds. The equator, or the imaginary line that lies midway between the two poles, is designated as 0 degrees latitude. It divides the Earth into two halves, or the northern and southern hemispheres. The poles are at the ends of the axis of the Earth, which is an invisible line about which the Earth rotates or spins. Latitude lines measure 90 degrees north and south of the equator, with the North Pole being 90 degrees north latitude and the South Pole being labeled 90 degrees south latitude. Because lines of latitude are always an equal distance from the equator and from each other, they are known as parallels. Each degree of latitude is about 69 miles, or 111 kilometers. Besides the equator, there are other special lines of latitude that you should know. At 23.5 degrees north and south of the equator, you have the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. The Tropic of Cancer is at 23.5 degrees north latitude, and the Tropic of Capricorn is at 23.5 degrees south latitude. Because of the tilt of the Earth on its axis at 23.5 degrees, the area between these two special lines is the only part of the Earth that receives the full rays of the sun during the whole year. The Arctic Circle and the Antarctic Circle are the other two special latitude lines. The Arctic Circle is at 66.5 degrees north latitude, and the Antarctic Circle is located at 66.5 degrees south latitude. North of the Arctic Circle and south of the Antarctic Circle are the polar regions. They receive little heat from the sun, which is the reason they are extremely cold regions. The prime meridian was established officially as 0 degrees longitude in 1884. It runs through the former Royal Astronomical Observatory at Greenwich in London, England. Longitude lines go east and west from the prime meridian up to 180 degrees in each direction. Each degree of longitude at the equator is approximately 69 miles, or 111 kilometers, just like lines of latitude. But as the lines of longitude move toward the poles, the distance between each degree becomes smaller, with it being 0 at the poles. Like the equator, the prime meridian divides the Earth into two parts, the eastern and western hemispheres. Lines of longitude are called meridians. Meridian means noon, and places located along the same meridian experience noon at the same time, although their clocks may show something different. This possible difference is caused by the arbitrary designations of time zones. Because the Earth rotates or spins on its axis once every 24 hours, there are 24 time zones. Each time zone is about 15 degrees of longitude. This is determined by dividing 24 hours into 360 degrees in a circle, like the Earth. The time zones begin at the prime meridian. 7.5 degrees on each side of the prime meridian is called Greenwich time. Each subsequent time zone is 15 more degrees. Noon occurs in the middle of each of these zones at the same time, but by looking at a time zone map, you can see that many of the time zones do not follow straight lines. Adjustments have been made to allow for natural and political boundaries. As you go west from the prime meridian, the time is 1 hour earlier for each time zone. For example, if it is noon in Greenwich, it is 7 a.m. in New York. That is because New York is 5 time zones to the west of Greenwich. As you go eastward from the prime meridian, it is 1 hour later for each time zone. Moscow in Russia is 3 time zones eastward from Greenwich. Therefore, if it is noon in London, it is 3 p.m. in Moscow.